played them all at some point in his career.
Nice. Knight of 3.
Let's make it
Catalan.
Knight of 3, James. I'll say D4. Robert?
Let's go D4 then.
I'm thinking C4. We've got it all covered. What if he plays 1B3?
Oh, wow. Let's go.
Hey, man, what's the lottery ticket?
You forced my hand. You took all the other options, so I just went with the King's Pawn. Best by test.
Okay.
Yeah, the King's Pawn is met by a Sicilian from Liem Le. He does have more solid.
I think so.
Hey. Move. Let me get this scrub real quick. Alright, it's my move. Oh, my bad.
That long day of skiing, he needs the energy. He needs to replenish his reserves there.
Hold on, I got you, bro. I'm gonna get you a time spot. Really, that's how it is. Especially, Carlsen being up mini game, bro. He's smashing. He is smashing his food right now. He don't care nothing about this game. He's like, I got this in the bag, right? Of course, their record actually, he's up a lot of games against Liam. So I guess he's very comfortable right now.
Yeah, I think their head-to-head in rapid chess at least is 14 wins for Magnus and 3 for Liem. So quite one-sided, but yeah, Liem does have a score to settle. He's just playing the waiting game right now.
That must be good. What you eat, girl? What is he eating? What y'all? Hey, look, put it in the chat. What do you think Carlsen is eating right now?
I vote noodles.
Yeah, we've seen him do that before.
Historically, that tends to be his favorite during chess matches. Where's the move, Magnus? We want a move.
What are you doing? D4. Okay, there it is.
And it's an open Sicilian. Liem, I've got to admire that. Just the patience. He didn't flinch once, Liem. He was not disturbed by Magnus's long pause there, and it's the 4 knights variation of the Sicilian.
Oh, there we go! There we go! That's what I'm talking about right there. That's exactly right. G4 for the score, baby. Yeah, it's about to get nasty.
Wow.
This is rare, though. This is impressive stuff. Magnus going straight on the attack, straight for the kill, switching up his strategy. Yesterday, the slow approach didn't work.
Yeah, I've got one question for you, Robert. Are you more surprised to see Magnus blitz out G4 or the fact that Liem didn't bat an eyelid and immediately played D5?
Yeah, D5 seems principled, so I get why he would rush that decision. But now we see him deep in thought because it's not easy. There's maximum pressure.
if black actually takes on a3, white also has the option of planting his own bishop on e5. You could do it after capturing on a7 or even before hitting that pawn on g7. So Magnus has got his own trumps in this position.
Yeah, I think that white is going to have the more active pieces. Even though black's pawn structure looks better, it's more difficult for black to get to white's pawns because those c pawns, you have to bring your rook all the way around into the position. And I feel like the kingside pawn structure is a long-term weakness for black to deal with. White will take a7, white will swing that rook over to d7 next and put pressure on the d5 pawn. And I just feel like white would be better in this variation, which is why Liem, he's been playing great chess throughout this game. And look what he has done. He says, don't want that pawn, don't want that flank pawn. Let me go for a more central pawn, and I'm stopping white's active plan of putting the bishop in the center. This is great decision making by the Vietnamese superstar.
Yeah, always prioritize piece activity in these endgames, even at the cost of pawn sometimes. So now, after rook takes a7, creating a pass pawn for white, Liem has grabbed this pawn, hoping to march forward, but Magnus is saying, yes, I'm going to run across, and now, be careful, if you push your pawn, the white bishop will find its active post, hitting this pawn, and Magnus will have the advantage. So, still up in the air, this one yet to be decided, but both players playing really, really well so far, I've got to say. Both very creative, especially in that middle game full of tactics, and they found a way to kind of neutralize each other's activity. And yeah, I think making a good choice defending the pawn with his rook, and he's again ready to swing that rook over to the a file to go after white's isolated pawn over there.
Also a sneaky idea of actually pushing d4 next, because that rook from c5, it's not only heading to attack that a pawn, but controls the e5 square as well. So Magnus, there's...
It's one of these positions, though, we've seen Magnus win countless times. Because it's equal, it's an endgame, it should be a draw, that's what everyone says. And then you're like, Magnus Carlsen doesn't just agree to draws. He plays it out till there are no pieces remaining. And if black is not careful, you could fall victim to this a-pawn running up the board. But black has threats of his own. He's trying to bring his rook back. He can bring it forward, but he can also bring it back, pin the bishop on the 7th rank. So both sides are playing excellent chess right now. And I would say both sides have chances. It's not just a dead draw. The pawns are not on the same flank. It's not symmetrical in any way. Both players will have their shot.
Yeah, both players will have their shot. I like this last move by Liem. I've got to say, that black rook looked like it was doing a decent job, but it could be improved. This is where you always have to ask which piece is happiest, which pieces need to kind of be repositioned. And he's talking to his pieces, Liem. He's asking them, and he still has 3 minutes. That should be enough to keep the balance in this game. Time scramble will happen, but this isn't the most kind of terminal type of position if you are low on time. So yeah, keeping things within manageable realms here.
Indeed, a very high-level game, starting from the opening. The way Liem handled g4 and a position that looked super dangerous for Magnus suddenly felt like he was getting into a good endgame. But now, looks very level with both sides having their own trump. Rook b7, the bishop spin, but the good news for white is that you can step